So, welcome to today's class. Today we shall discuss chapter 6 and chapter 7 of the distant window. In the last chapter, we discussed that Nando has been informed that the Sahab has come alone. He has not come with Mem Sahab. So, Nandu curses himself. He is very angry with himself because it was he who sent his wife to the Dak bungalow. And now he is cursing himself. He is saying, now I have given an opportunity to the Sahab to take advantage of the situation. Right? He might ill treat my wife. Right? So let us find out what happens in chapter 6. Back at home, Nandu comes back uh, during the noon time or during afternoon, early afternoon for lunch. And he says, back at home, Nandu was passing through a nerve-shattering time. He was very angry with himself. He was cursing himself. He was feeling very bad. He had learned to his horror that the Mem Sahib had not come. Only the Sahab was there. That meant there was no watchman but the thief. Only Sahab was there. There was nobody to protect his wife if Sahab tried to take advantage of the situation and molest her. Sahab could molest her. Sahab could ill treat her. Right? Nandu was found cursing himself as he had voluntarily offered his all to the thief. So his wife was his all. So by asking his wife to go there, he had offered his all voluntarily to the Sahib. Parvati was so unwilling to go. She was about to enjoy her tea comfortably. This is when Nandu had appeared as a mindless fate. The writer says Nandu appeared there as a mindless fate, as if she didn't have a mind of her own, as if she was not intelligent, as if she was foolish, a mindless person. Nandu had nothing to do with the Dak bungalow. The worst thing was that Nandu was working in the office, in the survey office. He was an attendant there. He had nothing to do with the Dak bungalow. Either he or his wife, they had nothing to do with the Dak bungalow. But he just wanted that the Mem Sahib must be taken care of. The sole responsibility lay with Mali. Who was the Mali? Dasarath. Because Dasarath was a cook, was a caretaker, was a gardener. He was one in all combined in one. So it was his responsibility to see that the guests spent a trouble-free time. It was not the responsibility of Nando. In trying to lessen Dasarath's responsibility, Nandu found himself in the present fix. So why he was in the present situation? It's only because it was his own making, it was his own doing. He found himself in a fix, in a trouble, only because he himself was responsible. He wanted his wife to go there. His wife didn't want to go there. So when he returned home during the lunch break and ah, tried to examine of the woman, if the woman had returned all in one piece, he found that there was no Parvati. The door was locked. So during lunch time, he comes back. He wants to find out if his wife has come back all in one piece, if she is perfectly all right, or if something wrong has happened to her. So he is very doubtful. He is suspicious, right? He is suspicious of his wife and suspicious of that Sahab, right? So he tries to find out if his wife is there and if she has come back all in one piece without being hurt or without being torn into pieces by a hungry vulture. He found that there was no Parvati, the room was locked. Nando's whole future seemed to be engulfed in the darkness. That, you know, the moment he entered He opened the key, opened the lock and entered. He had, walked some distance in the sun. The office was some distance away. So he had walked some distance in the sun. So when you walk in the sun and you enter into a dark area, everything grows completely dark. You can't see anything, at least for the first few minutes. So he felt as if his entire life was engulfed, was surrounded by darkness. ଲାଇଫ୍ ମାଟି ହେଇଗଲା ତାର, ମୋ ଜୀବନ ମାଟି ହେଇଗଲା। ମୁଁ ଯେଉଁ ଡିସିସନଟା ନେଲି ଟୁ ସେଣ୍ଡ ମାଇ ୱାଇଫ୍ ଟୁ ଦି ସାହାବ, ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଗୋଇଂ ଟୁ ବି ଭେରି ହର୍ଟଫୁଲ୍, ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଗୋଇଂ ଟୁ ବ୍ରିଙ୍ଗ ମି ଇଲ୍ ଫେଟ୍। Nando thought the Sahab was a wicked man. This was what he thought. He must have bad intentions. Otherwise, he would not have reached without previous intimation, and that too before time. Sahab had to come in the evening at 5 o'clock. So, without informing anybody, he has come at 10 o'clock. This makes him feel that the Sahab has ill intentions. His intentions are not good. So, his intention is to take advantage of the situation. But then Nando shuddered at his own horrifying thoughts. How he must have treated my wife. Right? He must have taken advantage of the situation, the loneliness that prevailed there. So he says, should he run back to the dark bungalow? But what would he do there? If he found Parvati locked up in Sahab's room, what would he do then? Should he kill the Sahab? So all kinds of ominous thoughts, evil thoughts come to his mind. He says, suppose I go there, I find my wife locked in one room with the Sahab. What would I do? Will I be able to kill my Sahab? I will not be able to kill my Sahab. Why he will not be able to kill his Sahab? Panic grips him as on the very Sahab depended on his own future prospects. The Sahab was a senior officer, and his recommendation was very important for Nandu to get a promotion. So Nandu says, I can't do anything. Even if I find my wife sleeping with the Sahab, I can't do anything. I can't take revenge. I can't avenge. I can't take revenge on the Sahab. Because the Sahab is a senior officer. And my future prospects, my entire future, my career depends on the recommendations of this Sahab. He was the deputy chief engineer and the one who would be writing reports on the work and efficiency of people like Nandu. So when he is going to submit a report on my working style, my sincerity and my efficiency, how can I take revenge on him? So why should I go there? Supposing the Sahab had tipped Dasarath and sent him away. Next moment he says, okay, Dasarath must be there. He tries to console himself, comfort himself. Oh, Dasarath is there. The Mali is there. Nothing will happen to my wife. But then he thinks, now if Sahab has come with bad intentions, evil intentions, he must have sent Dasarath away to the market to buy something. So supposing the Sahab had tipped Dasarath and sent him away, he even counted the minutes and hours that Parvati had been away. Parvati was here at 10:30. She started. She would take half an hour to go there. 11, suppose 11 she finds the Sahab is not there. She would have come back by 11:30. Okay, suppose the Sahab said you do this or do that for me another for 1 hour. Suppose she cooked something for the Sahab 1 hour. So it should be 12:30. Now it is 1 o'clock or 1:30. She should have come back, but she has not come back. So all calculations also made him more miserable. One, his own thoughts made him miserable. Second, his helplessness made him miserable. Third, his calculations went wrong. These all kinds of calculations that he made that made him more miserable. So she had left at 10:30. It was nearly 1:30. Nando could not in any case lock up the house and run to the place of action. Something or someone held him back. Who? What? Fear? Fear of the Sahab. His own helplessness. His own weakness. No matter how helpless you are, when you think your wife is in danger, would you think of your job? In normal case, what would happen? तमर जदि बापा असुविधार पड़िछंती तमे एठी ठिया बारे मो बापा को जण बाडोची से भारी स्ट्रांग हाँ तो मु सेठी जिबिनी काले से मते बाडे देबो दी शॉट कणी ना यू तमे जाई कि इंटरफेयर करिवो you would try to prevent you would go and interfere because then you will not be thinking of whether he would beat you or not. You will be thinking of how to rescue your father from the clutches of that bad man. But look at the weakness in Nando. So if a characterization question and characterization comes, you write there was an inherent weakness in Nando. His weakness, right? So he is weak. Now, even though he doubts that his wife is in trouble, he is thinking of his future prospects. So when your wife is in trouble, what prospects you are dreaming of? How your future is going to be bright? Okay. So Nando could not in any case lock up the house and run to the place of action. Something or someone held him back. Who? What was it? Was it fear? Fear for whom? For the Sahib? For a promotion? He will have to sign the attendance register after launch. If he got delayed, his name will be struck off the rolls. Name card diya jayega. So that was another fear. He was left with only half an hour to report back at the office. Could he cover the roundup trip to the Dak Bungalow within that short time? Should he go to the... This was only a plea. ଯେ ଅଧଘଣ୍ଟା ଅଛି ନା ମୁଁ ଡାକ ବଙ୍ଗଲୋକୁ ଯିବି ପୁଣି ସେଠୁ ଫେରିବି ଅଫିସ ଯିବି ସୋ ମୁଁ ଯଦି ଅଫିସରେ ଠିକ ଟାଇମରେ ସାଇନ୍ ନ କରିବି ମୋର ସାଲାରୀ କାଟିଦେବେ ମାଇ ନେମ୍ ୱିଲ୍ ବି ଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ ଅଫ୍ ତ ଏଇଟା ଗୋଟେ ସେ ପ୍ଲି ନଉଛି ଚାକିରି କଥା ପଛେ ଆରେ ମୋ ସ୍ତ୍ରୀ ଆଗ ବଞ୍ଚିଲେ ସିନା ଆଇ ୱିଲ୍ ଟେକ୍ କେୟାର ଅଫ୍ ଦି ଜବ୍ ହଁ so when my respect my self respect my dignity is in danger what should I think of my dignity or future prospects. So dignity is the first thing, but he didn't do that. He was left with only half an hour to report back at the office. Could he cover the roundup trip to the Dak Bungalow within such a short time? He was hungry as wolf, very hungry because this was, lunch time. Having taken no lunch, he had taken no lunch. Parvati was not there. Nothing had been cooked, so he was very hungry. His temper rose. He started blaming his wife as he did not turn back as soon as he had found that the wife of the Sahab had not come with him. So now this is the easy things to do. This is something very easy to do. What is very easy to do? You start when you are helpless, you start blaming your wife. This is what people do in India. When they are helpless, they start blaming their wives. So he says, now this lady is to blame. Why did not she turn back? Why didn't she start coming back? The moment she found that Mem Sahib was not there, she could have done that. Why did you stop there? तो संग संग फेरी आसतु तू से कहीं रहिलु so now he starts blaming his wife. Surely the Sahab didn't catch hold of her as soon as he found her in the courtyard. She is so helplessly talkative. Now he is blaming her. So this lady is a talkative one. She talks a lot. She must have started a conversation. So suppose the Sahab found her. A Sahab कौन गोटे बाघ ना भालू जे ताको जंप करिक आगे धरि पकेथिबे ए कथा त न so this lady must have started talking discussing things with him started a conversation with him. Maybe she is fooling with Dasrath. No, maybe with the Sahab himself. So his doubtful mind tells him that she must be spending time with the Sahab. And then he says, you could not trust a woman. Could you? You could not trust a woman. A woman is not trustworthy, worthy of being trusted. You can't have too much faith in a woman. His temper didn't last long because he could not, but next moment, his temper, his anger didn't last long. Why it did not last long? Because Parvati had already spent a few years with him. Parvati When Parvati got married to him, she knew that he was old, right? She was not unaware of his old age. She was well aware of his old age. So now, but she had never done anything unfaithful. She had never been unfaithful to him during these few years of their marriage. So how could he point his finger at her? Right? So his anger subsided. This is where the chapter 6 ends. Now let us go to chapter 7. Back at the Dak bungalow, the windows were all shut to keep out the hot midday sun. Even when Parvati started for the Dak bungalow, it was around 10 o'clock, 10:30. The sun was blazing. It was very hot. So the windows of the Dak bungalow were closed, were shut, so that to keep the heat outside. There was a knock on the window, so the Sahab had to divert his attention from the book, get up from the bed, go to the window and open it. Suddenly, the Sahab was reading a book. From outside, there was a knock on the window. So Sahab went to find out who it was knocking. When the knock was repeated, the Sahab went to the window to find out who it was that was knocking on the door and knocking on the window. So when he opened the window, he found Parvati standing outside. She was heaving and panting. You heave and pant when you run for a few minutes continuously. Right? You heave. Parvati was heaving and panting outside. She looked very excited. She appeared nervous. But Parvati spoke. Sir, I beg you not to eat the meat curry that Dasaratha will serve you for lunch. Please, sir, please. Please do one thing. Dasaratha has already served, he has purchased meat curry and he is going to serve you that for lunch. Please don't take it. The Sahab was surprised. He said, what are you referring to? Sahab didn't know what exactly Dasaratha is going to serve him. So he said, what are you referring to? And why not? If it is meat curry, why should not I take it? And Parvati says, sir, look at her concern for the Sahib. You can say, one, she is concerned about the Sahib. You can also say she is angry with Dasarath because it is because of Dasarath she is not getting some money. Right? She could have got some money very easily. If she had cooked something for the Sahib, she would have got some money. Of course, she had refused to take 2 rupees for the cup of tea that she had prepared. Huh? But perhaps she is angry with Dasarath. So she says, sir, please don't take that meat. Why not? That is rotten meat. You will be sick if you take it, if you eat it. The Sahib was quite amused. He thought it was a trick by her in order to become friendly with him. The Sahib thought perhaps he was trying to be friendly. So that Sahib, if Sahib reposes his trust, puts his trust in her, then they would become friendly. And in that process, she could get some money. Cheat him or take some money out, from him. So Sahib was surprised. He marked her deep anxiety and wondered if she had come all the way in this terrible sun only to play up to him. So Sahab thinks at first that perhaps this was a deliberate plan. Intentionally, she is playing that plan so that she could be friendly with the Sahab. But the next moment, he thinks, no, no, had it been only a plan, she would not have run from such a long distance. Because he finds her panting and heaving. So she had run some distance in the sun, in the hot sun. So Sahab is compelled to think, no, no, perhaps he is not thinking of any trick. Perhaps he is not thinking of taking money from me. Ah, so perhaps she is very sincere in her feelings, in her concern for me. Parvati said, had I said this in Dasarath? Acha, then Sahab asks, why did you come back all the way to say just this? You had already gone. Why did you come back in the sun? Parvati said, had I said this in Dasarath's presence, Would he not have quarrelled with me? He would have quarrelled with me. He has bought that already cooked meat curry to economize on cooking time. But sir, I am sorry to say, it is rotten meat. Meat which is not fit for your consumption. Right? He has already purchased that meat. So, had I said all these things in front of him, he would have been angry with me. Sahab said, is it beef? Cow's meat? I am used to that. I can take cow's meat. Huh. Parvati didn't faint on hearing that. Of course, the Sahab was a Brahmin. Sahib was a Brahmin. So, when he said, I eat cow's meat, I eat beef, Parvati must have felt he thought Parvati would be shattered. ଯେ ମୁଁ ସାହାବଙ୍କୁ କହୁଛି ତମେ ଏଇଟା ଖାଇବନି ସେ beef ଏଇ beef ଖାଇଛନ୍ତି. So for a Hindu, eating beef is a sin, considered a sin. He beef ଖାଇଛନ୍ତି. But Parvati, Parvati says, I have seen with my own. No, no. Parvati says, sir, I know you have been to England, you have been to America, but the situation here happens to be quite different. I am not talking of beef. I know you have been to many places, many foreign countries, you must have eaten beef. But what I am talking to is different. He really has bought something utterly rotten from the tea shop. They say meat curry cooked that contains the flesh of rats. So I am not talking about beef, I am talking about the flesh of rats. He has bought flesh of rats for you. So the gentleman appeared a little perturbed, disturbed, and concerned. What? Flesh of rats? How do you know this? He asked. Parvati said, I have seen this with my own eyes. I recognized it as soon as I lay my eyes on the curry. Many eat in our locality. This is very fine. People of our locality eat that. They find nothing wrong with rat's meat. But it is not suitable for you, for people like you, for babus like you. You are a babu, you are a sahab, you are a sahab. So it is not meat for you. It is not fit for you. She left after requesting him not to divulge the details she had provided with Dasrath. So please don't tell anything to Dasrath. He would be angry with me. He calls me Didi. So when he calls me Didi, if he hears that I was complaining against him, he will be disheartened. He will feel bad. Please don't tell Dasaratha that I have drawn your attention to this. He will be upset. He calls me Didi after all. The gentleman caught her short and said, how do you know? How do I know you are telling the truth? Then in an answer she says, why otherwise I should come to you running in this hot sun? Huh? So that I am telling the truth, that I came running in the sun from such a long distance, it shows that I am telling you the truth. To the utter dismay of Parvati, the Sahab said that she could be hostile towards Dasrath. That could be another reason. Hostile is unfriendly. So you must be unfriendly to Dasrath. This might be another reason. ତୋର ଦଶରଥ ଉପରେ କିଛି ରାଗ ଥିବ ତୁ ତାକୁ ହଇରାଣରେ ପକେଇବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରୁଥିବୁ. That could be another reason. Why was she so much concerned when she had no responsibilities as regards his meal? No, Dasaratha has to take care of my food. Dasaratha has done something. So if something wrong happens to me, Dasaratha will be held responsible. He will not be held responsible. Why are you worried? What makes you so much concerned about me? Parvati said, that curry will act as poison for you, sir. Besides, what the lower class people can stomach, can you stomach that? You can't digest it, sir. We lower class people can digest it. We are habituated to this meat, rat's meat, but you are not habituated to rat's meat. So if you take that, it will poison your blood. You will die. So please don't take it. The Sahab replied, why, what's wrong with lower class people? Why you are telling lower class, higher class? The lower class people are also human beings. We are all made of the same stuff. We are human beings, aren't we? So you lower class people are not human beings. Only I am a human being. If you can digest, I can also digest. The Sahab's words left Parvati stunned. She had heard the opposite from the mem sahibs. She had heard the mem sahibs discuss this food is fit for you, this food is not fit for my children. My children can't digest it. Your children can digest very easily. You people can stand all this. But goodness me, my it frightens me how my child will eat it. Oh, this coarse rice, ମୋଟା ଚାଉଳ ମୋଟା ଚାଉଳର ଭାତ ଇ ମା ଏତେ ମୋଟା ମୋ ପିଲାମାନେ ତ ସରୁଆ ଚାଉଳ ଖାଆନ୍ତି ଅରୁଆ ଚାଉଳ ଏଗୁଡ଼ା ଏତେ ମୋଟା ଚାଉଳ ତମେ ଖାଇ ଓ your children can digest but not my children. Only the poor can stomach it. If we eat this coarse rice, we will have to visit the hospital in no time. So Mem Sahib said like this on numerous occasions. The Mem Sahib said something of this sort. The Mem Sahib had then given a discourse on the delicacy of her children's appetite vis-a-vis their children, the children of the poor people. My children's appetite and poor children, appetite of the poor children. Those of the poor lower class people. The egalitarian declaration of the gentleman surprised her. They were noble words, words of equality and fraternity. So Parvati was stunned, confused, flabbergasted, surprised. What is this Sahab talking about? When Mem Sahibs had something different to say, right? Sahab is saying everybody is equal. Mem Sahib was trying to find out differences between my children and her children, our children and her children. So how can Sahab say something of this sort? The Sahab promised, I shall not eat the curry. Okay, since you have so much concern, you have expressed so much concern about me, I will not eat that curry. You took all the trouble in the hot sun to come and warn me. I promise I shall not say anything to Dasarat about the matter. So I will not eat that meat in deference to, in respecting what you have done. You have not only expressed your concern, you ran in the sun to warn me. So, in respect to that, in deference to that, I am not going to eat this meat. And I promise I will not tell anything to Dasarath. Parvati's action left the Sahab wondering, must be rather whimsical. This lady must be whimsical. Or else, why should she bother so much about me? And one doesn't come across such people every day. The one who generally come the Sahab's way are the Dasaraths. So these people, those who come in contact with the Sahab, always try to impress him so that they can get some money from him. They can exploit some money from him. But she is not taking any money, but she is showing so much concern for me, deep concern for me. So such people are very rare. So if a question comes, you can write, this is one of the characteristics of Parvati. What is the opinion of the Sahab about Parvati? They can do everything for their self-interest. Who? The other kind of woman. Usually the kind of woman you find, those who flatter you, those who try to make you happy all the time, those who try to make you happy so that they can take some money, they can get some money. Out of fear or maybe just to harm another person unwittingly. This woman did seem uncommon, strange. So the Sahib says, this is an uncommon woman, a strange woman. Right? So this is where chapter 7 ends. Thank you very much. In the next video, we shall discuss about chapter 8 and 9. Thank you.